Hello and welcome to TTVNEWS with some latest events in the province and across the country. Ladies and gentlemen, at the conference on boosting public investment growth momentum in 2025, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính directed that on levels from central to local must take decisive action and intensify leadership and direction to achieve the goal of dispersing 100% of public investment capital in 2025.
2025 marks a crucial acceleration point and final phase in the implementation of the 2021 to 2025, the 5-year social economic development plan and the medium-term public investment plan for the same period. It also aligns with the pursuit of the long-term centennial strategic goals, and to achieve these strategic objectives, the party, the state, and the government have set an ambitious growth target of 8% or higher for the 2025, an increase from the previous target of 6.5% to 7%, and aim to create a strong foundation for double-digit growth in the next phase. In his keynote speech at the conference, the Prime Minister acknowledged, commended, and highly appreciated the efforts and results achieved by the ministry, sectors, and localities over the recent period. He also instructed ministry, central agencies, and localities to seriously implement the directives of the government and the Prime Minister regarding the disbursement of public investment capital in 2005, with a firm resolve to reach 100% of the disbursement plan assigned by the Prime Minister, and that is to generate employment, improve the livelihoods, and create a new development space, reduce the logistics and input costs of goods, resolve obstacles and challenges, and mobilize all resources for the development. The ministry, sectors, and localities, based on their functions, duties, and authority, must stay closely engaged with their tasks, proactively monitor and supervise, and promptly resolve any difficulties or issues arising at the construction sites and projects. And they must flexibly and effectively apply relevant resolutions and laws, especially those newly amended, supplemented, or issues to remove the bottlenecks and obstacles. Additionally, efforts should be made to build a public investment database covering environmental data, land, contractors, and more to effectively measure public investment disbursement performance.
To ensure the completion of the 2025 Public Investment Plan, the People's Committee of TayNinhTV Province has recently instructed provincial-level project investors to review, consolidate, and prepare a list of on-programs, tasks, and projects under the 2021-2025 Medium-Term Public Investment Plan by May 30, 2025, prior to any official decisions or resolutions regarding local administrative mergers or separations, in order to ensure timely project implementation. The Provincial People's Committee has also requested on agencies, units, and localities review and assess on projects for which they serve as the project owner, clearly outlining achieved results, difficulties, and obstacles, both objective and subjective causes, particularly in terms of displayment progress as of now, and propose solutions for the coming period. For the Department of Finance, it has been tasked with inspecting and urging project owners to promptly implement projects. The department must report any issues, if any, to the Provincial People's Committee and propose solutions to ensure disbursement goals are met. 50% by June 30, 2025, 70% by September 30, 2025, and 100% completion of the assigned 2025 Public Investment Plan by the end of the year.
On the occasion of the 5th anniversary of the Tradition Day of the TayNinhTV Provincial Border Corps Command, May the 25th of 1975, May the 25th of 2025, on the morning of May the 20th, TayNinhTV Border Corps Command, in coordination with the local authorities and sponsors, organized a gift-giving program in Suingo Commune of Tân Châu District. During the ceremony, 100 gift packages were also handed directly to policy beneficiary families and households in significant circumstances living in the border areas. As gift was valued at 600,000 Vietnam dong, including the 200,000 Vietnam dong in cash, along with the rice and essential daily necessities.
On the morning of May 20th, the military command of Tân Châu District held an inauguration ceremony for the internal road at the residential cluster adjacent to the Bảo Sang border military post in Tân Hà, Cà Mau. The internal road at the residential cluster near Baoshan border military post began construction in April 2025. It is 130 meters long with a 3-meter wide carriage surface. The total investment is stated 100 million Vietnam dong, sourced from the state budget and sponsorships from organizations such as Fico Tenant Cement Joint Stock Company and Trung Dụng Construction Company Limited. Ladies and gentlemen, on the occasion of the 135th birth anniversary of President Ho Chi Minh, the Vietnamese embassy in Algeria solemnly organized a series of commemorative activities in the capital city of Angers. These events honor the revered leader of the Vietnamese people and reaffirm the enduring traditional friendship between the peoples of Vietnam and Algeria.
And on the morning of May the 19th, a flower offering ceremony in tribute to President Ho Chi Minh was also held at Ho Chi Minh Avenue in Algiers, led by the Vietnamese embassy in Algeria. In his speech at the ceremony, Vietnamese Ambassador Trần Quốc Khánh emphasized that naming a coastal avenue in the heart of the Algeria's capital after President Ho Chi Minh was not only a symbolic gesture, but also a profound expression of admiration and respect from the Algerian people for the Vietnamese leader, who has become a global symbol of the struggle for independence, freedom, and justice. This act also reflects the deep-rooted friendship between the two nations, fought with the flames of the resistance and strengthened over time. We are proud to have a memorial plaque for Ho Chi Minh on this avenue and always welcome the Vietnamese delegation coming to commemorate his birthday. He stood against the colonialism and was among the first to recognize the provisional government of Algeria in 1958, while our country was still fighting for independence, and we were the first Arab nation recognized by Vietnam. Also attending the ceremony, the overseas Vietnamese who expressed their deep emotions upon witnessing the affection Algerian people have for the President Ho Chi Minh. 50 years after the liberation of the south of Vietnam, I am truly moved to see how the world increasingly recognizes Vietnam, and we want this recognition to Uncle Ho, who sacrificed everything to fight about for our country's salvation. He paved the way not only for Vietnam but also for the colonial nations, which is why Algerians still admire both Uncle Ho and General Võ Nguyên Giáp. Earlier at the same morning, the Vietnamese embassy in Algeria also held a separate incense and flower offering ceremony at the shrine and statue of President Ho Chi Minh located within the embassy grounds as a tribute to gratitude and reverence to the beloved leader who dedicated his life to the national independence and freedom of the people. The images of President Ho Chi Minh, so simple yet so great, continue to live in the hearts and of those who cherish justice around the world, especially in Algeria, where the name Ho Chi Minh is forever etched as a great friend and a hero of the era.
Turn to the news. Ladies and gentlemen, on the afternoon of May 20th, Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs Nguyễn Minh Hằng chaired an online conference to review the implementation of the project on developing relations between Vietnam and Middle Eastern African countries for the 2016-2025 period. At the conference, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs assessed that, thanks to the efforts of various ministry sectors and especially local enterprises, cooperation between Vietnam and the Middle East Africa has achieved encouraging results across all fields. However, the outcome still falls short of the potential and actual cooperation needs of both sides, particularly in trade, investment, technology, and tourism. During the conference, delegates agreed that there must be stronger coordination between Vietnamese diplomatic mission abroad and domestic ministries, agencies, businesses, localities, and the general public. This could help guide and advise on effective cooperation areas specific to each region and country, avoiding a scattered approach. The dynamic and proactive market research efforts by local authorities, relevant agencies, and the businesses themselves were also identified as a key strategy that should be further promoted to enhance future cooperation between Vietnam and Middle Eastern African countries.
In the first 4 months of this year, Vietnam's coffee export turnover reached for $3.8 billion and up to more than 51% compared to the same period last year. This is the highest growth among the Vietnam's agricultural export products. Several batches of Vietnamese specialty coffee have been sold for up to 1 million Vietnam dong per kilogram and double the price of those from other countries. The total coffee output this year is estimated to reach between 1.7 to 1.8 million tons, and with the current growth momentum, export turnover could exceed the $6 billion mark. On the international market, especially the coffee typically sells for the 300,000 to 500,000 Vietnam dong per kilogram. In Vietnam, prices have been reached for 600,000 to 800,000 Vietnam dong per kilogram, and at an auction held in August of 2004, Arabica coffee roast in Hướng Hóa, Quảng Trị province was sold at a record price of about 2.2 million Vietnam dong per kilogram.
Following Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính directive to implement a preferred rental rate package worth around 500 trillion Vietnam dong, approximately $20 billion for science, technology, innovation, and strategic infrastructure, the State Bank of Vietnam has instructed commercial banks to study and propose ways to roll out this package using capital from their own sources. This is considered the most substantial investment lending package ever introduced in Vietnam. The innovative enterprise is helpful for access to referential loans to invest in storage infrastructure, data system, and voice technology development based on artificial intelligence. However, there are also concerns as tech startups often do not meet the standard bank loan criteria. We don't have collateral. What we have are technologies and patents. Will the banks accept those as assets? Analysts also note that innovative enterprises have unique characteristics, with many of their technologies not yet widely applied. Therefore, if the loan criteria for this 500 trillion Vietnam dong rate package are not released, banks may hesitate to disburse funds, as they must also manage the risk to their capital. These enterprises usually lack collateral and have limited evidence of future business performance, which means banks lack the data needed for loan assessment. Bank interest rates are so unstable, fluctuating up and down like that makes it hard to attract investment. I know that no business operates solely on equity. Capital must rely on bank loans. To ensure effective disbursement, experts suggest that the State Bank of Vietnam issue more specific guidelines on implementation conditions for credit institutions. Currently, the State Bank has asked banks to register for participation in the package based on their capital balance and to propose reasonable referential interest rates.
The survey conducted at the supermarket chain shows that although the organic agricultural products and foods are priced to 3 times higher than conventional goods, they are increasingly sought after by Vietnamese consumers. And despite the high prices, the consumer demand for organic products continues to rise sharply. According to the representatives of the premium food supermarket chains, the sales of organic products are growing by 20 to 30% each month. According to the Vietnam Organic Agriculture Association, domestic consumption of organic products is increasing by an average of 50% per year. Meanwhile, the survey by the AC Nielsen, a U.S.-based market research company, found that 24% of Vietnamese people consume organic food daily. Nearly 90% of consumers acknowledge that organic food is expensive, but the majority are still willing to pay more for the safe and healthy products.
On the evening of May 19, on the 22nd day of the fall lunar moon, at the temple of Bà Chúa Sứ, or Holy Mother of Ram, at Sam Mountain World, Châu Đốc City, and Giang Province, the organizing committee for the 2025 Holy Mother of Ram, the Ram's birthday, Sam Mountain Festival, in coordination with Châu Đốc City Peace Committee and the Management Board of the Sam Mountain Shrine, solemnly held the traditional reenactment enactment ceremony, the statue of Holy Mother was ceremoniously carried from the stone pedestal on the summit of some mountain down to the shrine at the foot of the mountain, officially marking the opening of the National Level Festival 2025. This year's festival runs from May 11 to May 24, the 14 to 27 day of the fall lunar moon. The event reflects the rich cultural identity of the people in Vietnam's Mekong Delta region. Notably, the traditional cultural values of the festival continue to strongly attract both domestic and international visitors. This year's festival features a variety of events, including a street parade, cultural performances, food and specialty product booths, outcrop displays, calligraphy exhibitions, and line dragon dance competitions, all aimed at serving and entertaining the public and tourists alike. The audience, one notable highlight of the romantic penal code presented at the National Assembly's plenary session on the morning of May 20th is the proposed doubling of fines for crimes related to the production and trade of cultivated goods, as well as certain other related offences. On the sidelines of the National Assembly session, many deputies expressed agreement, stating that increasing penalties would enhance deterrence and improve the effectiveness of efforts to combat counterfeit and substandard goods, thereby ensuring food safety and public protection. According to the deputies, authorities have recently uncovered numerous networks involved in the circulation and sale of counterfeit and low-quality goods. Therefore, a comprehensive review of existing legal provisions is needed to close loopholes and ensure that penalties are strong enough to deter such crimes. Previously, the National Assembly had to amend relevant laws such as the law on advertising by assigning responsibility to public influencers. In this latest draft amendment of the Penal Code, penalties have been significantly increased to reinforce deterrence. Increasing penalties such as imprisonment and higher fines is, in my view, a necessary move. Firstly, it tightens legal regulations in response to offences that negatively impact society in general and public health in particular. There must be a corresponding punishment. Secondly, given the rising trend in such crimes, we need stronger deterrence. This increase in penalties has the support of both voters and deputies, as it creates fairness for legitimate businesses. It has promoted honest production and ensures that businesses with poor product quality, especially those that pose risk to public health and food safety, face serious consequences. This move encourages better product quality and strengthens public trust in enterprises. Previously, between May 15 and 17, the Prime Minister issued official telegram number 65 and directive number 13 related to this matter. These directives aim to launch a high-intensity campaign to combat and prevent smuggling, trade fraud, counterfeit goods, and violations of intellectual property rights. They also emphasize that there are no forbidden zones or exceptions in enforcement, adopting the principle of handing one case to serve as a warning for an entire area or sector. Ministry sectors and localities are required to proactively review and improve policies and legal frameworks, clearly define responsibilities, and ensure no tasks are neglected and regulatory gaps remain in such management. And that's all for today, TTV News. Thank you for being with us and goodbye for now.